like 5 hours difference, right?
At the moment, yes, the time difference at the moment is 5 hours.
Let's touch down on this now. So, a youth corper talked about Lagos the other day, and I know this has attracted a whole lot of comments. Somebody has tried to sweep on that comment when she said Lagos is smelling, to bring out his own fact to say, well, yes, it is true, and all of that. You have been traveling around Abraham Great. From what you see, can you describe Lagos as a smelling city?
Well, I will be a little bit biased because Lagos is my city, Lagos is my place, Lagos is my home, Lagos is my place of birth. I love Lagos with passion, and I wouldn't really appreciate someone describing Lagos as a smelling city, particularly those who are born after the year 2000. They would not really understand what Lagos used to be before 1999. You mentioned today, I hear you talking about the traffic around the corridors.
Right.
You mentioned around the Riakari, you mentioned around Daleko. I went to school under Daleko. There's a school right there, secondary school called Jumoni Secondary School, right there. And just after the bridge, you have Concord, where MKO Abiola owned Concord.
Right.
If you turn on right, going towards Oshodi, you will have Guardian. And then if you go turn towards the left, you are going straight to Ilasa and stuff like that. My family house and everything around that corridor. I was born in around that area of Mushi.
All right.
So if you would think about when I was growing up in the 80s, in the 90s, and before I left Nigeria in the late 90s, compared to the Lagos that I see today, I would say that statement is
Hello?
on Lagos. Can
Okay,
you hear me?
yeah, so we just lost you a bit here. So you will say that statement is what?
I would reckon that if I'm juxtaposing it against the Lagos that I was born in, Lagos that I went to school around the corridor that I've just mentioned, that you mentioned, I look at what it is today, Lagos is not a smelling place.
Okay. All right. So because I'm also trying to juxtapose all of that. I live on the mainland, and I drive around as well. Apart from when you get to some inner streets where you might have some places that are not clean, or maybe those streets are not taking care of the environment, Lagos doesn't smell at all in my own perspective. But then there are reasons why that will come up, because we know environmental issues are not just one-offs. Is that correct?
I think that is, well, we cannot, I mean, it's funny that topic has been brought up. I didn't appreciate the manner in which it has been brought up. It's quite derogatory on Lagos. But when you look at it, I mean, I'm going to go back to the access part of which you mentioned. Let's look at Papa Jao, for example. I grew up in Papa Jao, into Fatai Oteri, into GRA, into Ikeja. That's my growing up. I was born in that axis. I grew up in Ikeja. But when you look at a particular corridor between Five Star and Toyota, there's a road there that is called Akinwumi Street.
Okay.
Akinwumi Street is where we now call Ladipo, where you buy spare parts.
Right.
I tell you, recently, we have family house and we have a church on that main road. That my uncle started in 1982 or thereabout, and my family started that church. We know what that area. In fact, I learned to skate and I learned to drive on that road. I cannot see the difference growing up between that road and GRA Ikeja. Recently, I went to bury my uncle in that corridor, and it's actually, like that lady said, it actually stinks.
Right.
I would not lie to you. I myself and a few of my cousins came from Europe and America to bury my uncle. And some of us actually had physical tears in our eyes when we look at the area that we once learned to skate, and we would several children from abroad, Indians and stuff. If you remember Aswani Market,
right.
Some of the Indian families and foreign families live on that road. Many people live on that road where we come home and we go back abroad and we come back home and we play in that area. But what it is today is an eyesore.
Which is quite unfortunate. But Abraham Great, let's look at it in perspective, because it's one thing for the government to put in place the policies and look for how to implement those policies that relate to the environment. I know the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources in Lagos, Honorable Tokunbo Wahab, has been touching down on a whole lot, and he's been sparing nobody. I mean, he's one man who says it and he goes out to really implement it as it should be. But in terms of citizens' responsibility for the environment, talk to me. What are we supposed to be doing?
Well, let's think about it this way. When you talk about sustainability, you're looking at living in harmony with nature. You're ensuring that what we take, what we use, and discard doesn't permanently damage the planet. The planet is alive. It's a living thing. The roads that we walk in, that we build our houses in, the land, the areas that we see, they are living things. And the way we treat them affect the persons that we become. Because when you sleep determines the dreams you have. Some people, in Nigeria, we are very funny people. We go to church, we go to mosque, and we go and cast out spirits, we go and cast out demons, we go and fight poverty. But you know that poverty is a tenant. If you give poverty a notice in your life, in your environment, you find out that you think better. You cannot be living in dirt, and you cannot be constituting dirt yourself and expect your country to be a better place.
All right.
We blame everything on government, but except ourselves, but we culminate the poverty in the land.
Which is quite unfortunate. All right, so our attitude towards waste disposal is one that leaves much to be desired, right? So is that to say that we've not done well? I mean, let's look at it from the government perspective in terms of enforcement. We're not doing well in terms of enforcement, or what?
I would always not like to have, I don't like to cast aspersion. I'm just naturally not like that. Not on the citizen and not also on the government. So that leaves me in the middle, and my son doesn't like me to be a leader. He wants me to have a stand either on the left or on the right. But yeah. I believe that you learn from here. The Yoruba people have a saying. They say, "If let me say that again. That means we wash hands together for the hands to be clean.
Right.
What that means is that the government, like you have mentioned, I've been following Mr. Wahab, extremely innovative, very creative guy, and a good leader. And if the government is doing their bit, if we as citizens also do much of our bit, not only what we are told to do, but what we know we ought to do, what is natural, what is moral, what is right, what is neat, what is clean, right. What is what is right for the environment, we realize that we will forward more with government and we'll have a better environment.
Now, do you think the attitude of, or perhaps the issue of voluntary compliance is better? I mean, some have said it should be more of enforcement rather than voluntary compliance. I mean, if you can recall the days of the Buhari Diagbon and Operation War Against Indiscipline in 1984, if you can recall that you dare not drop a single wrap of a sweet wrap if you've consumed it. If anything happens, you are very sure that somebody will pick you up. So should it be?
I was only 7 or 8 years old at that point, but I remember very vividly because I was in primary school. It was so entrenched into the country at that point that everybody talk about it. You could be picked up at any point. Anyone could go to cell just for littering the street, and that is why I think what we need in Nigeria as a whole, not just Lagos, is not just enforcement but entrenchment.
Okay.
We need values to be entrenched into our value system, into our being, such that we know. I'll give you an example. There are two countries that I love a lot. One of it, I'm going to be there again in just a few days. That's South Korea, Seoul. I mean, if you want to see neat countries around the world, I think Lagos and, yes, a lot of our government have been to those places, Singapore, right. and Seoul. If you go to that country, it is very difficult for you to find any litter of dirt anywhere in Singapore or in South Korea. But it is not just because government is cleaning up. It is because from the family unit, the value of cleanliness is entrenched into the value system. So as Nigerians, we need to go back to national orientation agencies. We need to go back. We need to do a lot of groundwork in seeing how do we grow? What is our value? What is our national value? We become a country because of our pursuit of democracy, our efforts to put things right economically. We have actually dropped the ball on building value.
All
We
right.
are no longer a valuable nation. We need to build our nations on value.
Let's
And
talk.
one of the values that we need to entrench into our system is imototo, what we call in Yoruba, imototo.
Right. Okay, then let's talk about comparison now, and let's look at maybe learning or taking some kind of lessons from models that can be of great relevance to us. So, where you are right now in Ottawa, how is domestic waste? How is it handled?
Well, domestic waste in this place, I'll be very honest with you, I've been here for a while, for just over 2 years, but I've not paid a lot of attention because, as you know, I've been on the road or in the air almost every 2 weeks. I'm in one part of the country, of the world, or the other. But generally, from a Western world point of view, when you look at these countries, they are the what do you call it? The surveyors, the planning of the cities are very much advanced than what we do. For example, in Lagos, you realize that our roads are not properly planned.
Okay.
Our drainages are not properly planned. The Lagos that I grew up in before I left in 1997 had a lot of greeneries. We have sports center in different. I was in Ikeja and I was trying to look for Ikeja sports center. In Mushin or in Papajao area, we used to have areas where we would go out and play shot pole, play table tennis, play javelin, play what have you. Every land in Lagos today is for sale. There is no plan for greenery. It is just not the way you build a city.
Okay, which is quite unfortunate. All right, quickly, flash update coming in says there's a serious multiple accident involving two commercial buses, call them Korokwe, and of course one Lexus SUV with 3 casualties at Legina. Okay, Legina, all right, in what Adamo. I understand the police and the Lasambos, they've been contacted, and traffic managers on ground are trying to sort things out with that one. Another one here says broken down loaded tanker having mechanical problem. This is at Agogo Igbala, just before Age Mowo. Okay, in what's Ijaniki. That's on the Lagos Ibadan Expressway. Lagos Badagry Expressway, and the mechanic has been contacted while traffic managers on standby for evacuation. All right, then, no effect on traffic, I understand, at the moment. All right, so it is pretty sad, but you say in those kind of places, it's a well-planned city. You do not have so many, but when we look at Lagos, there are so many people that are migrating into Lagos. Would you say those that are migrating are also a resultant factor of the kind of waste that we find on our roads and in some locations? Would you say that?
That will be a major factor because the population density of any city culminates largely to the waste that is produced in that city. So when you look at the waste management, for example, I think from the last report that I know, over 12,000 metric tons of daily waste is being produced that clog the drainage in Lagos alone. That is not by. I wrote an article once on Twitter where I said that when the current president of Nigeria, when he took over as governor of Nigeria of Lagos was about 7 million people. By the time he was leaving, Lagos was over 11 million people. Today, Lagos is over 22 million people. How do you legislate for that proper management in just a space of 20 years? I don't know if there's any other city apart from Mumbai that has such a level of influx of migration. So no matter the solution that is being profiled by government, the population density will outweigh the effort. So what do? We go back to learn from cities like
cities like
New York, when New Jersey was created, and in New Jersey.
Okay, so we lost you. We lost you for a second there. So you said we need to learn from cities like which cities?
We need to learn from cities like Paris. We need to learn from cities like New York, where the population density becomes so much, but new outlets, new areas were created in the outskirts. So, for example, you look at New Jersey, for example, you could easily in New Jersey and come back to work in New York. In the same vein that you could live in Venice, Meudon, and other areas in Paris and still come to work in Paris. You create a train system. Today, there should be a train system that allow people to live in Ibadan and work in Lagos so that 45 minutes on the train, they can be home. We need to develop the environment. We need to develop other states, other cities, so that Lagos will not be the only place that everybody just think they can park their bike and can go to make it in Lagos.
All right.
Nigeria should get to a place where you can make it anywhere.
Okay, then Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This morning, we're talking environmental sustainability, how citizens can make the difference. So let's hear from you too. What are your own ideas? What do you think we really need to do if Lagos was to be at par in terms of environmental sustainability with other advanced countries? Economically, Lagos is growing. Yes, we are at least, is it the fourth or fifth largest economy right now in Africa? And that means a whole lot. It means a whole lot in terms of what Lagos is doing. If we're growing with economic indices, what about the environment? What can we do to really ensure that we get it right? And that is where we need your own input as well as a resident of Lagos. What can we do to ensure that Lagos doesn't smell like that copper has alleged? Even though we know that very few parts of the state you might find dirty, but there are lots of inputs that are being put in place by the Ministry of the Environment and Water Resources. But as a resident of Lagos, what are your thoughts really? And how do you think we can really make Lagos better? 080-99-120777 and 091-5387-7127. Okay, 091-5387-7127. That's the numbers that you can connect with us on the program this morning. All right, let me see if I can take these calls. Hello there, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
All right, what's your name?
Olualoko is my name, calling from YOURSIDE area.
All right, Olualoko, talk to me.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate our guest this morning on the radio.
All right.
You have spoken so well about Lagos. I've always said something. Casting blame will not really help us at this stage. Lagos has virtually the entire agencies that can change everything we need to do in Lagos.
Okay.
The thing I think they can now do is let them go back to the grassroots. Let them go back to the basics. You see, we shouldn't make everything to be about politics. They are actually trying. See the way that guy was reeling out the areas he has stayed and the things he has experienced in Lagos. I think what the Environment and the Water Resources Commissioner is really trying, like he said. But I think let the enlightenment and immediate gratification issue be removed. You see, politics is not everything. Let us know we are living as a people. What that lady has said, I think I will just put it like it's a section of Lagos. It's not everywhere. Even this Paris, America, wherever, they have their own dirty past too. But I think what we can do at this stage, that lady was just, it's a generational, it's like we're approaching that generational gap. This coming disease, something, they might not be able to tolerate what we old men are really tolerating now. So what we can do is, let us go deep down to the grassroots.
Okay.
Let us start from our basic CBAs. Enlightenment should be intensified. We'll get there. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Olualoko. Enlightenment should be intensified. But in terms of enlightenment, I think that has been sustained for quite a while now. Loma seem to be virtually on every radio station and television these days. They're trying to see what they can do in terms of public advocacy, in terms of what we all should be doing. But are we really doing those things? That's a very, very big question. There's a concept of a second waste bin. Most of us do not have it yet. Let's take this call. Hello there, good morning.
Hello, Mr. Victor.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
All right, what's your name?
How are you doing?
Very good. Hello?
I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to make a little bit contribution concerning the legal thing.
What's your name, sir?
One, I don't want to mention what the young lady, the copper said. When you look at it critically, a good number of areas in Lagos really do spend.
Okay.
But we can't generalize all the Lagos State and say the Lagos State entirely is smelling.
All right.
But a good number of areas. Let's take for instance, I'm being business at Ikeja. You see these open investigations within the Ikeja area on sub-bridge, the bridge that connects our background to General Hospital. You see a lot of open investigations, people relating here and there on top the bridge, under the bridge. When you move like areas like Ocean, under the bridge. Most of all these things, they mess all the environment up.
Okay.
Government will not do it so that the last concept. I think the citizens will really need to be more enlightened.
Right.
And government should do more on the area of having a public toilet.
Okay.
Then, not simply having a public toilet, most of all these people, they don't have money to pay. And when you have all these facilities, attach something on it, so people, like there was a day I wanted to teach myself, they said it's 100 naira, so not everybody can afford. So
Okay.
anyone that cannot afford to pay 100 naira to just ease ourselves, they opted to look for
An alternative.
one corner to do the needful. So let the government do more on that area. Why the citizens will really need to be reoriented, because some of us really we behave like animals. Sorry to use that
Yes.
language.
Which is quite unfortunate. But what's your name?
Some of us-
What's your name, sir? What's your name?
Government will not do everything for us. Government will not tell us not to defecate on open place.
Right.
I don't think government will not tell us not to urinate on top the bridge or under the bridge.
That's true. So what's your name? What's your name, sir? What's your name?
But they need to do it.
Right.
And the young lady who not really need to play down what she said is actually right.
All right.
So it's part of the government is criticism.
Okay.
When you criticize government, it's for them to know the areas they are not doing well. But here in this part of the country, once you criticize, it becomes a problem. The government should listen and give ear to all the criticism.
Okay, all right. We've taken note of that. Unfortunately, I couldn't get his name, but he was saying, yes, some areas in Lagos do smell. And that's something we need to really, really touch on, really. Because when you get to some of those places that he has mentioned, you see people defecating and doing all those other things. So that means in areas of public toilet, maybe something should have to be done about that. Let's take this call that's coming in. Hello there, good morning. Hello?
Mr. Victor, am I correct?
Yes, you're audible. What's your name?
Okay, so my name is Dami.
Dami, where are you calling from?
Ogba.
Ogba. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, the lady has come out to say what she feels, but I feel the government should at least, she should be made to reframe that statement.
Okay.
I don't know how old the lady is, but I feel if the lady knew Lagos in 1981, up to 1999, you know those days of you don't go to a show, you don't do all of that. Probably she will appreciate what Lagos is now.
Okay.
I drove around Lagos a lot, and I can tell you that almost all the roads in Lagos are being swept on a daily basis. Someone is making payments for that. I'm not saying government is doing the best.
All
You
right.
understand?
All right.
But to be honest with you, Lagos is really, really, really trying.
Okay.
I was one that made call the other time that I wanted to be on the third land bridge and everything like that.
Oh, that's
You
true.
understand?
Yes,
Lagos is trying.
Okay.
So, of course, there are some places. Probably she has gone through the construction zones of Lagos. And you know how construction zones will look like. The gutters are being packed on the roads, the period of time, all of those things. But the Lagos is not thinking. I don't want to try to take offense. I'm not too comfortable with that statement.
All right then. Thank you so much, Dami, for
we still get to Lagos.
yes. Thank you so much.
To explain that, so you can go back to the public space.
Okay then. Thank you so much for that one. Dami has made it clear that he drives a lot, and I know him. He calls on this program quite constantly. Let me get back to you, Abraham. Great, you heard from people out there. So we have mixed kind of views relating to that particular expression by the copper. Well, she stays somewhere on the island. Maybe if she comes to the mainland, she'll be able to know or perhaps get some other. But in terms of moving forward, what do you think we can do? The last but one caller touched on something, which is common in some areas. You see people doing open defecation in the night, and in the mornings, you're going to see those kind of things. That shouldn't be part of Lagos, isn't it, Abraham? Great.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then we must also remember that a nation is not built in a day. A nation is built daily. A city is not built in a day. A city is built daily. And a single plastic bottle clog in a drain, 1,000 citizens can gather together to prevent it or to remove the flood. So we must understand that we are, as citizens, we build the nation.
Let me take his call. Let me take his call.
Okay.
Hello there. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is B.
B. Okay, good. B, you are a regular on this program, and today we're touching down on the environment. What's your take, apart from what that lady has said? How can citizens make a difference?
For one, I think open defecation, I think it needs to stop.
Okay.
Open defecation needs to stop. We need to stop throwing our waste on the road. We just need to, we're not kids. We're not, we just need to keep our environment clean,
Right. But if open defecation, so
I think it's down to the citizens.
Right.
Just,
so B, if open
is well taken care of.
Right. B, if open defecation were to stop, that means government must also put in place those kind of facilities.
Yes, government must put like public toilets, maybe the LCDAs, there should be a specific amount of public toilet, and it must be for free, because if people can't afford to use it, they will resort to open defecation. But the problem now is, even before, I used to think it was homeless people that do this open defecation, but you'll be surprised that people leave their homes and go and defecate outside.
Wow.
So
that's quite
what can government do in that situation?
Right. Okay,
so then. I think we the citizens ourselves, we have a lot to do.
Okay then. Thank you so much, B from Ogba.
All right.
Okay then. So, Abraham, as we gradually...
I want to quickly, before I forget, I want to quickly... I love how B have put his point across. But I do not agree with one thing that he said, which is government should put public toilet in place and then it should be free. I'm trying to remember, and please, anybody that is listening also could correct me, who travel a lot.
Okay.
I think I know inside out for the last 25 years, the whole of London City and most of the major cities in Europe. I know the entirety of New York City. I know the entirety of Ottawa or Toronto. I've just came back from Calgary yesterday. I can't think of one specific. I remember sometimes ago I was in Philadelphia.
All right.
And I was trying to get a public toilet, and I walked and go from where I parked my car until I have to find a McDonald's. Public toilet is not a prerogative of the government.
Okay.
What we need to do is to make our public infrastructures like restaurants, like shopping centers, like big malls.
All right. To make them work, right? That's what you're trying to say. Hello? Okay. All right. We're having some disruptions there, but some messages here. This one says, amazing morning. Waste disposal. Okay, just a second. Right, just a second, Abraham.
Yeah, so there should be...
Abraham, great. Hello? Okay, so we seem to having some technical issues.
Yeah.
Can you hear? Okay, so this one says, amazing morning. Waste disposal remains a huge problem. What practical steps can citizens take to manage their waste better? Shegun, thank you so much for that one. This one says, are there effective recycling programs in Lagos? And how can more people get involved? Thanks, Chidi. All right, Chidi, I can tell you, Loma has a very, very vocal kind of waste recycling program. If you log onto their website, definitely you get more facts on that. This one says, good morning, Victor and Abraham. Do you think rooftop and vertical gardens could work in Lagos? Lola from Victoria Island. Abraham, rooftop and vertical gardens, can that work?
Yes, I believe that can work in parts of Lagos, not in every part of Lagos, and it would determines on the building use. So, again, the town plannings and stuff like that will know where best the rooftops can, because you also have to consider the security of rooftops
Right.
as well.
Okay, then let's leave it at that for now because time is not really our friend. So, Abraham, great. Your parting thought on the program this morning. What do you think we should do as citizens to make a difference?
I would say that we need to remember what Gandhi once told us: be the change you wish to see. And we be the change that you wish to see. We won't have a society if we destroy the environment. I believe that was Margaret Mead who said that. So we all have a responsibility. And I think as citizens, we must, win ourselves of this mentality to insult our environment. There are stinking part of New York. There are stinking part of California. Go to Bronx, and you realize between JFK airport and you drive into Bronx.
Right.
I mean, I believe that driving from Lagos airport to Lekki is better than that.
Okay.
So you've got to really, until you start appreciating what you have,
Right.
you would think that everywhere else is just heaven.
Okay, then.
We have a great country and we must also appreciate it. It can get better.
We'll leave it at that for now.
If we want to see the change, we must be that change.
We'll leave it at that for now. It's nice having you on the program. Pastor Abraham, great. Thank you so much for connecting with us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
I'm glad. It is working. Thank you.
All right, then we have to go now. Maximum shout out going out to Mike James. He has produced the program this morning. Ayodele has been working tirelessly behind the scenes to make this program come on stream. I will say thank you to you. Our social media team, we do appreciate you as well. And of course, our executive producer is Tayo Akonle. My name is Victor Oteri. I'm out. Stay very much within. Bye.